Did you know that online fitness coaches are closing online fitness packages at $1,000, $2,000, even up to $5,000? Now, you might be shocked at those prices, or you might be asking, how the hell do I do that? If you're completely new to sales and you're not sure what to say on the phone, and you're afraid of sounding like a door-to-door salesman or using old, outdated strategies that no longer work in 2024, I'm going to give you the exact 7-figure sales script that's helped me close over 3,000 fitness clients with my online fitness business. So if you don't know me, my name is Eric Anthony Klima. I'm the CEO of PT Legends, where we help personal trainers just like you grow and scale their online fitness business, close more high-ticket clients, and have more freedom. We're live here on vacation in Santorini right now, but I'm 100% committed to dropping more value than any other coach out there. So in this video, I'm going to give you my sales script completely for free, and I'm going to break it down how you can say it word for word so you can get customers running through the door, begging to work with you instead of you begging to work for them.
What's up, guys, and welcome to this training on the sales script. Okay, so this is going to be a framework that you can follow during your sales calls. Always make sure that you have this in front of you, but do not use it per verbatim or robotic. I'm going to walk you through the whole entire sales script of how I would go through this. And below this training, again, you're going to have the link to this document, which is your sales script. And you're also going to have additional trainings on role plays, on recorded sales calls of me selling fitness, of me closing deals, and also losing deals as well, because losing deals is part of sales. You're not going to close everybody, so don't let it bring you down. But part of that is also going to build your sales muscles. It's going to teach you what to do and what not to do. Now, most of our clients, just from using the sales script alone, close 40 to 50% of their deals, even with zero sales experience. Even like 18-year-olds who have never closed deals are able to close deals using this sales script. So it's a very powerful framework and very high quality questions. Again, below this training, you're going to have role plays. You're going to have a specific training on how to communicate your offer and how to use ChatGPT to create that offer so you sound unique and different from your competitors, so you can demand prices at $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 without a sweat off their back. And you're also going to have trainings on objections, how to overcome them, and different strategies, and also a bit more advanced trainings. We're going to go over the basic beginner level of sales on this call, just like a basic level where you don't have to think too much. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first thing I want to go through is the pre-call ritual. Okay, so before the call is taken, make sure these steps are completed. Make sure the prospect has confirmed their attendance via calendar invite or through text message and has been pre-qualified. So before they book a call, they should have filled out a questionnaire with some questions, and that's going to pre-qualify them. Also, make sure you're well rested in a quiet room, no distractions, and that you have their application in front of you, because that's going to tell you what their goals are, what their struggles are, and it's going to give you some information on them prior to the call. Also, I always take notes on the call. I like to do what it's called labeling and use their own pain language in the offer and listen to them. So the best sales closers are listeners. They don't speak too much, they just listen. You want to be fully present and detached from the outcome on the call. Your focus should be on being an exceptional listener who asks intentional and skillful questions and show up for the right time. Okay, it's a very bad look if you're not showing up on the right time. Now, again, there's going to be specific trainings on each individual steps to the 7 step of a close framework, but the 7 steps to a close framework comes down to 7 things. Number 1 is building rapport, which we're going to go through. Number 2 is the pre-frame. Number 3 is discovery, which we're really going to hone in on today. And number 4 is the offer pillars. We're going to go through that too, but there's going to be a specific training, again, how to use ChatGPT to communicate them kind of perfectly. Number 5 is a price drop, and the easiest way to do that to get more paid in fulls. And then number 6 is objections. So you are going to get objections. And number 7 is closing the deal. So let's get into it. So the first part, like we discussed, of this framework is rapport building. So this is simply just to help warm up the customer a bit and make them feel welcome. Okay, guys, we are basically being doctors where we listen to their problems and we're going to solve them with our offer. So the discovery phase is where we listen to what they're doing. The rapport is where we're just going to shoot the shits. Hey, first name, nice to meet you. Where are you from? Where are you calling from? Something along the lines of that. Okay, so let's just pretend, let's role play this out a little bit. So ring, ring, ring. Hello, Jonathan. Great to meet you. Where are you from, by the way? I'm from XYZ, right? You greet them, conversate. Oh, that's awesome. Over there in Texas. I'm over here in Miami. How long have you been there for? Oh, sweet, man. Awesome. So it shouldn't be that long of a building rapport, right? Nobody really cares how the weather is, what it's like over there. It's just very simple. Hey, John, it's Eric over here. Super stoked to be speaking with you. And, by the way, where are you calling from? Oh, Texas. Awesome. How long you been over there? Sweet, man. Cool. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, man. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. So is it cool if we kind of just like dive right into things? Awesome. So now we're going to dive into the pre-frame. Okay. So yeah, man, first of all, I just want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I know how valuable your time is here. And, I'm just here to make sure the conversation brings you real insight and value. So just to give you expectations, man, our goal today is to explore your fitness journey, understand where you're at and where you want to be, just to see if there might be a fit for us to work together towards achieving your dream physique. Now, I want this to be relaxed and open conversation. So feel free to share your thoughts, ask any questions, and, tell me any concerns you have. It's really important to me that we're both on the same page here. Okay. So this call is not just about me and my coaching approach, but it's also about me understanding your needs and goals. So by the end of the call, man, we'll understand exactly your next steps, whether that's working together with me or maybe even another direction that's suited better for you. Either way, you're going to leave this call with a lot more clarity and a clearer path moving forward. Okay. So I just want to know, what your primary focus is, to provide value for you and help you move closer to your fitness goals. There's no pressure to make decisions on the spot. And yeah, does that sound fair enough? Awesome. Cool. And then you're going to dive into it. So that's what you call the pre-frame. You're setting up the expectations for the call. Now we're going to dive into the discovery. So the reason why it's called a discovery is because we're going to discover where they're at, the pain points, what's stopping them from being where they want to be, and also where they want to go. Okay. So we don't want this to be robotic, like what's your number one goal? What's important to you? You want it to flow naturally and ask quality questions. Okay. So we're going to be like, okay, awesome, John. So all sound fair enough to you? Ready to get started? Yeah. Awesome. Cool, man. So I guess the first thing I'd like to know is, I guess what brought you on the call today? Cool. Awesome. So you saw a post and you seen that it mentioned lose 15 pounds in the next 30 days. And that's what kind of sparked your interest. Okay, cool, man. So could you walk me through like what your number one goal is right now? Like what would you want to achieve here? I want to lose 20, 30 pounds by summertime. Awesome, man. That's great, man. That sounds like a great goal. And I'm just curious, man, like why is it important for you to lose that 20 to 30 pounds? Blah, 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 blah. Because I want to look good for the summer. I want to look good on the beach. I want to feel great, feel stronger, feel leaner. Awesome, man. And we don't want to ask just surface level questions here, right? So, okay, cool, man. So now that we got the goal, we have a good understanding of where you're at. I'm still just, can you tell me more about like what your goal is, like overall physique? Like, what are we really shooting here for? Like, what's that dream physique look like to you? Is it six pack? Is it like the Rock Johnson? Or maybe give me someone famous like that you want to look like. I'd like to look like Zac Efron. Oh, okay, awesome, man. Cool. Okay, cool. That paints a vivid picture for me. I appreciate that. So I guess like now that we know where you want to go, what do you think the biggest challenge is when it comes to accomplishing that goal, looking like Zac Efron, right? So now we're going to get the challenges. They're going to tell us, nutrition, exercise, so on and so forth, consistency, whatever it might be. Like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, those are all, valid things. Most of our clients struggle with consistency and nutrition most of the time, and that's going to dictate about 90% of your results. How long have you been kind of struggling with this? Like how long have you been trying to get that six pack for? Oh, I've been struggling to get it my whole entire life. Got you, man. Okay, that can be super frustrating. I know how frustrating dieting can be. And well, I guess what are some of the things that you're doing currently to work towards that goal? Like what are you doing inside the gym? Like what are you doing with sleep? Walk me through just like what a daily day in a life looks like for you, right? And again, guys, remember, we're just mainly listening here. We're not here to coach them on the call. We're just here really, really listening, okay? What have you tried in the past? Okay, got you, man. So right now you're doing XYZ. You're working out 3 times a week. You're on this XYZ diet. Is there anything else that you tried in the past? Have you worked with a personal trainer or an online fitness coach? Okay, never worked with a trainer or coach. Okay, so I'm just curious, John, like if you did work with one, what would you want to do? Like what would you want from one that would help you the most? So this is going to give us an idea of what they want the most, which is important when we're trying to convince someone to buy our stuff, right? Because they might say, I want accountability. I want, a tailored nutrition plan. I don't want some cookie cutter BS, right? So now we can literally label those words that they're saying, hey man, I'm going to give you accountability. I'm going to give you this when it's our turn to take over. Now we're going to transition to nutrition questions. Okay, man. So cool. So it sounds like you have some great goals. You're exercising a little bit, but what's really important is nutrition. Like I mentioned, to get the six pack abs, it's going to probably dictate about 80 to 90% of your results. So walk me through like, I guess what you ate yesterday, right? So I'm not saying it word for word, guys. I'm just like, walk me through like what you eat on a typical day, man. Breakfast, lunch, what's that look like? Do you eat out often, right? We want to ask like, do they eat out? Do they drink alcohol? Because this also gives us an idea of where the resources are going, right? So if they say, oh, I can't afford it, you're like, well, you told me earlier that you eat out 5 times a week on Uber Eats. You're spending like $100 a week on Uber Eats. So what if we just took that money that we're putting toward our bad habits and put it toward our good habit, right? So that gives us an idea of where the resources are going so we can get them more resourceful for the investment, okay? It also gives us an idea about, where they're going wrong, where the problem is with their nutrition. So now we're going to dive into pain points, okay? Now remember on a sales call, especially when you're selling fitness, that people purchase based off emotion and then justify with logic. So they're emotional buyers, okay? So this is where we really don't want to ask surface level questions. Okay, cool, man. So I got a good understanding of where you want to go. You want to lose 20 to 30 pounds, look like Zac Efron. And you mentioned that nutrition is probably like the biggest challenge. So I'm just curious, man, talk to me, dude. Like, why is this really important to you? Got you. Cool. And I know that you've been kind of struggling this pretty much your whole life, you mentioned. How do you feel like overall about where you're at right now? Oh, I feel terrible. I feel a lack of confidence. My sex drive is down. I haven't been able to do XYZ. I want to be a leader to my kids. People will give you all this emotional information here, okay? And it's very, very super powerful. And we're gonna be like, okay, man, does that stress you out? Does that affect relationships, social events, anything like that? And then dig deeper. Well, what do you mean by that? Tell me more about that. What do you mean by your confidence? And why is it important for you to fix that? Is there any other reason why this is important to you? So now we got some pain. They're telling us why they want to lose that 30 pounds, whether it's to get in a new relationship, or they just went through a bad relationship, or maybe they're just tired of being, pinching their chichos, their fat pack, right? Or maybe their friends are making fun of them, but are giving us valuable information, okay? Now we're gonna get into the gap, right? So this is basically going to ask them, we wanna dig into what's the cost of them not making a decision today, of them procrastinating, right? Okay, man, so now that I know like where you wanna go, I'm just curious, man, you've been going to the gym 3 times a week. Why do you think you haven't been able to accomplish these goals on your own, right? So the goal of this question is to overcome the do it on your own objection, right? Because a lot of people will come into the call and they'll be like, yeah, I think I could just figure this out on my own, right? So that's why we widen the gap by asking, why do you think you haven't been able to accomplish these goals on your own, man? Oh, because I don't have accountability. Oh, because of this. Oh, because of this. Now, the next thing is cost and consequence questions. Okay, man. So what you're saying is that you need more accountability. Like, it's been challenging for you to stay consistent. You're eating out on the weekends a lot. You're also eating a lot of Uber Eats. So you feel like you need an accountability partner. Is that accurate? Yeah. Okay, man. So let me ask you this, man. What if a year from now, 2 years from now, things are the same and nothing changes? Would you be okay with that? Right? So now we're asking them, that's basically asking, what's the consequence of you not moving forward today, right? How would you feel a year from now if things are the same, right? And you want to ask with a concerned tonality, right? Like you actually genuinely care, which you should if you're a coach. How would you feel if things were the same? What would life be like if a year from now things are even worse, right? Especially if they have health issues, diabetes, right? So, hey, I'm pre-diabetic. Okay, man. So what if a year from now, you don't do anything about this and it gets worse and you're fully diabetic? Would you be okay with that? How would you feel then, right? How would that make you feel? Got you. Okay. So this is going to start getting them to think about what life is like if they keep procrastinating and not deciding. Okay, great, man. So this sounds pretty important to you. And I'm just curious, man, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to change? If they're anything under a 10, I like to ask why. Okay. If they're like 8 or a 9, just be like, okay, why is that? Why not a 10, man? Okay, awesome. So then you move forward. So now we've asked some pretty important questions and we've really gotten some, beneath surface level questions. We're getting really beneath the surface. Now it's like start to get them hyped up a little bit. Okay. So let's say we come in, we're rocking and rolling, summer's coming around. You got that 6-pack abs like Zac Efron. Dude, how are you gonna feel like coming into the summer with your shirt off, hopping in the pool? How would that feel, man? Oh, that would feel amazing, right? And you don't have to ask this question, like you can skip this, but it is a good question to have in there. Like, okay, man, and I'm just curious, how would you celebrate that, dude? How would you celebrate your new body, your new achievements of unlocking this fitness body that you have? Cool. Okay, and this is gonna eliminate the think about it objection. It's gonna eliminate them procrastinating, right? Okay, and I know it's kind of a cheesy question, man, but I mean, how soon do you want to solve this thing, man? Is this I know you mentioned this is important to you, but would you say this is like a now thing or a later thing for you? Now. If they say later, then we want to overcome that objection now. Later, man. What, you mentioned that you've been doing this for 6 years on your own and you've been struggling your whole life. Why later? You also mentioned you're pre-diabetic. What happens if we wait another year and things get worse? Why is this not a now thing, man? We got to take action now, right? Okay, so now we got a lot of information from them. Now we just want to make them feel like they're understood. So with the notes that we wrote down, for quick 30 seconds, not even 2 minutes, I would say 30 seconds to maybe a minute, 2 minutes maximum. We're like, okay, man, so it sounds like, you're struggling with nutrition, you're struggling with exercise, really struggling with consistency, like you're constantly eating out and that's just resulting you to losing a couple pounds, but gaining it right back on the weekend. Does that sound about right? Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, man. Well, I definitely think, I'm just going to hop into the next one. Well, I definitely think that, we can help you out with getting you consistent, making sure that you stay on track. And I really appreciate your open-mindedness from everything, all my questions so far. It's been super helpful. Now, the good news is I can definitely help you out. Would you like to hear more about how I can help you? Right? So once they say yes to this is giving you permission to pitch to them, right? Now it's our turn to do the speaking, okay? Now we're going to transition into the pillars of your program. Now the pillars are just points, they're parts of your program that are going to help them overcome unique challenges. So the best way I can communicate the pillars is for each one of your prospects' challenges, build a bridge by showing them their current state, describe a recommendation for solving the problem, and clearly articulate the future state. So typically with fitness programs, the 3 core pillars are nutrition, exercise, and accountability. However, that sounds so basic and vague. We don't want to communicate the offer like that. So I'm going to show you how to communicate it in a really sexy way in another video, which is called the pitch pillar framework. Okay. And you can see that below this video, or you can message me for it or whatever, and I'll send it over. I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to perfectly communicate that future state specifically for your avatar, your niche, and your offer, which is really, really cool. But I'm just going to give you one that I created from one of our clients. Okay. Now remember, your pillars are geared around how you're going to specifically solve their specific pain points and problems. So they have their emotional pain point, which for this guy was, he wants a six pack. He's got he's pre-diabetic. We're going to communicate how we can solve that problem. Pillar 2 is going to do the same thing. And number 3 is going to be a little bit of logic. Okay. This is not a time to go super crazy on all the tangents and gizmos and go on a super long tangent about how cool your portal is. Okay. Nobody cares about your application, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. Most salespeople go on this long tangent and talk about, yeah, so you're going to get 8 nutrition plans per week, this and that, workouts, and you just confuse the customer. Sell the dream outcome. Okay. Sell the transformation, not the product. Sell the way they're going to feel as a result of joining your program. Sell the way that they're going to look as a result of joining your program. Sell the way that they're going to perform as a result of the program. Just think about it like when you take a vacation. They paint this beautiful picture of Mykonos, but they don't show the 18-hour flight to get there. They're not like, oh, you're going to have to wait 18 hours and your back is going to hurt so bad and your neck is going to feel stiff as hell. But then once you get there, you're going to, this is what it looks like. They're not showing you the airport with American Airlines, how uncomfortable it is. I mean, they do, but when they're selling Mykonos, they're showing you the dream vacation of the beautiful Mediterranean Sea, so on and so forth. So it's the same thing here. Hey, you're going to feel like this. It's like this beautiful Mediterranean Sea. Okay. So at this point, it's now our turn to present our offer. So this is the one that I created for one of our clients. So you can say, okay, man, so I can definitely help you out. And the good news is, I definitely think that you're a great fit for the program, but you tell me, where would you like to go? Oh, tell me about the program. Awesome. So what I like to do is I like to say, okay, do you have a pen and paper just to take a little bit of notes here? Yes. Okay, awesome. Just write down 1, 2, and 3, just to take a little bit of notes on how I'm going to help you lose that 30 pounds in the next 6 months or whatever, however long it is. So this is one that I created for our client. So this is how it's going to go. Okay, man. So the first thing is what I call Nourish Smart. So listen, man, when it comes to getting that 6-pack abs, the problem is, like, most people, like right now, what you're doing is you're trying that fad diet and then you're eating out on the weekends. You're trying to restrict your diet. And that's why you're binge eating so much. So because of that, you end up feeling deprived, bouncing between, a few pounds and gaining it back. And ultimately, a lot of times you're just giving up and not being consistent, or you're never just trimming down the fat. So instead, what we're going to do here, man, is we're going to provide you with a customized nutrition plan under our Nourish Smart pillar. This is going to allow for you to enjoy your favorite foods while still getting that 6-pack. See, I'm selling the transformation here. And ultimately, this is going to lead to sustainably losing fat every single month leading up to summer, so you get that Greek god Zac Efron physique while having a healthier relationship with food. How's that sound, right? And after each pillar, right, which is a part of your program, this is just a nutrition part, you're going to say, does that make sense? Or what are your questions on that? Or, hey, man, do you feel like based on what we were talking about earlier about nutrition, how you're struggling with what to eat, that the Nourish Smart approach would help, right? And then we listen to them just to make sure they're not confused. And then we say, awesome, cool. So that all makes sense. Sweet. So the second thing, man, is what I call the Move Right workout plan. So this is where we're going to give you the workout. Okay. So when it comes to transforming your body, man, the issue is right now, you're stuck in basically a workout misfit. You're overtraining with exercises that don't really suit your body type or your goals. You're doing too much cardio. And because of that, due to that lack of guidance, and because of this, you end up feeling exhausted. A lot of people get injured, or you just don't see any real change, which ultimately leads to that frustration and reason why you're being inconsistent. What we're going to do is something differently here, man. I'm going to develop a personalized workout program for you with our Move Right pillar, which is going to allow for you to make the most out of each workout without feeling overwhelmed or bored. Ultimately, as a result of this, man, you're going to be consistent. It's going to be a tangible process towards your dream physique, and it's going to help you get that chiseled 6-pack ab, feeling lean, strong, and more confident than ever. Now, in my applications, it's going to show you exactly what to do with video workouts every single day, so you're never lost or confused inside a gym. Does that make sense? Awesome. Now, the third thing, man, is what I call the lone wolf syndrome. So what's holding most people back from their fitness goals, including you, is a lack of accountability, man. You're not staying on track, right? And sustainable habits. So many people out here are trying to do it alone without structure or support, which leads to inconsistency and motivation dips. Because of that, man, they find themselves starting over repeatedly over and over again, which leads to this vicious cycle of disappointment, skepticism about what's truly possible. So what we offer in our Stay Steady pillar is a dedicated support team staying on top of you every single day. You're going to have habit forming strategies to integrate into your fitness seamlessly. This is going to allow for you to stay on track for good, man, to lose that weight and keep it all for good and keep that 6-pack forever. And even when life gets hectic, by building lasting habits that support your health and goals, goals. Ultimately, this consistent progress fuels your confidence and commitment to a healthier lifestyle. And if you ever fall off track, man, you got me in your corner 24/7 to message and make you stay on track. Does that make sense? Awesome. Now, considering your struggles, man, with, being consistent in the past, do you feel like the stay steady approach could benefit you? Yes. So now you're getting to sell it back to you, okay? Which is awesome. Okay, that's how you communicate a badass offer. Now you can create this on your own in the next video, or message me for the video on how to create your own unique pillars for your offer and brand. Okay, this is just an example of one of my clients. Okay, so now that we have our offer, we always want to get a temperature check. So we're gonna say, great, man, awesome. So I'm just curious, man, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you completely hate me and my breath stinks, and 10 being this is exactly what you need about the programming process itself to succeed, what number are you at? And the reason why we ask this temperature check is because we want to make sure they feel good about the program and there's no confusion. So if they say anything less than a 10, you want to ask why. Okay, yeah, man, I'm an 8. Gotcha, man. I really appreciate that feedback. That's a high number. And I'm just curious, what's stopping you from being a 10? What are we missing here, man? Oh, well, I'm just not sure about nutrition because, I've tried keto in the past. Oh, well, guess what, man? That's exactly why we're going to do the SMART diet, where it allows for you to eat whatever you want while dropping fat, as long as we're within macro range. So we're never going to cut your carbs or make you restrict your diet, because that's the reason why you failed in the past. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, now, so after that, do you feel like you're more moved up in the scale to like a 10? Oh yeah, for sure, man. Awesome, dude. Now that we got them as a 10 and they're clear on the offer, they feel certain that your program's going to work, because if they don't feel certain, they're never going to buy, right? If they're like, the program sounds okay, I'm a 5 out of 10, you're probably not going to get the sale, right? We want to try our best to get 10s. And this is why many of your sales calls the objection doesn't come down to money. It actually comes down to how certain they are about the program working, the belief in the program working, or belief in themselves. So now we're going to get into dropping the price. So we can say, awesome, man. So I'm so happy to hear that you're feeling good about things. So yeah, man, where would you like to go from here? Most of the time they're going to say, yeah, let's get into it. How much is it? Or you can say, yeah, man. So sounds like you're feeling good, man. You ready to hear the nitty gritty? Yeah, let's get into it. Awesome, man. And this is how you're going to drop the price. So this is the 5th part of the 7 steps to a close. Okay, cool, man. And when you do this, you want to bring confident and you want to be straightforward. Confidence in your pricing reflects confidence in your service's value. Okay. Yeah, man. So typically to work with a personal trainer, it's about $3,000 for a 3-month program. Dude, they're not going to give you a nutrition plan. And like we discussed, that dictates 90% of your results. And they're not going to hold you accountable and teach you those habits, like I mentioned, which is so important and pivotal when it comes to long sustainable results. Okay. Now, based on our conversation and understanding of your goals, the program that I recommend for you is specifically designed to address your lack of consistency and also to make sure that you get that 6-pack abs. So this is not just about workouts and diets. It's a comprehensive approach that's going to transform your lifestyle and making sure that you get that 6-pack looking like Zac Efron and maintain that dream physique forever. So the total investment for this life-changing program is only $600 a month for 3 months, or you can save $300 if you pay it in full at only $1,500 total. Which one works best for you? And then after that, just shut up. Okay, the silence here is crucial. You must not cave in. You must remain silent until the prospect speaks. Sometimes the silence is a minute or 2. Okay, you are going to get objections undoubtedly, but the goal is to get no objections whatsoever. The better you get, the less objections you're going to get. And just to recap, the goal of the discovery is to overcome objections so they never happen. The better quality your questions are, the more objections you overcome prior to even dropping the price. Okay, you did a really good sales call when you get no objections. That means you've overcome all the objections in the discovery and you made a really good offer. So we're incentivizing them for paying in full at $1,500. It means they save $300, or they can do 3 monthly payments for $600 a month, right? Which turns out to be $1,800. So, hey man, you can do $600 a month, or we can save some money. Like you have an incentive, you have a bonus here. If you do the whole thing up front, it's only $1,500. Which one works best for you? Okay. Now there is a more advanced way to close down here. I'm not going to go into that, but after that, the final thing would be capturing the payment, right? So that's the 7th phase. Okay. If you get objections, that's going to be right here. I'm not going to go through objections on this training because it's already pretty long. There will be separate trainings that I do on objections that you can go through. Okay. But there's objection scripts right here that you can click on. And then of course I have separate trainings on objections. So the only thing that you got left is the actual objections. And then you have cementing the sale. Now, one more thing is you always want to, once they're like, okay, cool, let's do $1,500, for example. From there, you're going to be like, awesome. Would you prefer to do credit or debit? Awesome. I just sent you a text. Can you see it? Beautiful. So once they say, I'm sorry, let me take that back. Once they say, yes, let's do $1,500 or whatever they say, you always want to congratulate them. Awesome, man. I'm super excited for you. Congrats. And welcome to the program, right? Congratulations for joining the program. I'm super stoked to work with you. I'm sending you over a text right now. Can you see it? So you want to collect the payment on the phone. Do not let them leave the call without paying, okay? Cool, yeah, you got the link? All right, cool. Just fill out your information and, I'm gonna set up your onboarding right now. I'm gonna send you the emails and I'm just cool. Pretend you're like typing in. Great, awesome. Congrats on making the best decision of 2024, okay? I'm super excited to work with you and I'll send over the link to set up your onboarding call and get you started with your customized plan. And that's the final part. Now, again, if you do have objections, the objections training is right here. I would like to go a little bit into objections. You can always watch the rest of this later. So the simplest way to overcome objections is this. Let's just go into it. Screw it, okay? The 7-step framework to closing is close, object, agree, isolate the objection, double tie down, ask for cash on hand, back to paying, okay? So step 1, and you have it word for word right here, is you go for the close. Okay, Mr. Customer, the program is $1,500. They give you the objection. That's way too much money. You always agree. Totally get that it's a lot of money. I totally agree with you, man. I'm the one that made the prices. When I made it, I was kind of shocked myself, okay? Here's the key part. No matter what the objection is, isolate the objection. So I'm just curious, man, other than money, how do you feel about the program and process itself? I feel great about it. This is exactly what I want to do. Okay, then we go double tie down. So what you're saying is if we can figure out the money thing, we can get you started on the call today. Yes. Sweet, dude. Cool. So what I find works best is us just having an open, transparent conversation about what your finances look like. Is that something that you're open to discussing? Yes. Great. What do you have cash on hand? What do you have credit? Like, what's your overall financial situation look like? I could do 500 right now. Got you. Awesome. So here's what we can do. Then you can negotiate prices from there. If they're still like, I don't know, you're going to go back to paying. You're going to be like, okay, got you, man. I mean, do you remember when you said like you're pre-diabetic, that this is really important to you? And if things got worse, it's just going to get, you're going to be fully diabetic. And you also mentioned this is a 10 out of 10. You really want to get that 6-pack like Zac Efron. So what's really going on here, man? How can we make this work today? Right? That's when you go back to paying. But this is the framework every single time. You go for the close. So again, let's just go through it one more time. The program's $3,000, just for example. I don't have, that's a lot of money. Totally agree with you. That's a lot of money. I can't, I understand not everybody has $3,000 up front. And I'm just curious, how do you feel about the program and process itself, right? I feel good. All right, double tie down. Okay, and the reason why we're double tying down is because 80% of your objections come down to value and belief. They either don't value the program enough to pay the $1,500, or they don't believe in your programs actually to get them there in that time frame. Or C is they don't believe that they're going to do the work. So we always want to say, okay, and I'm just curious, like, do you feel anything less than 100% certain that you can do this in a way that you want to do it, and that's going to definitely get you to where you want to go? It's going to help you lose that 30. Do you know wholeheartedly, 100% certain that this is going to make you lose that 30 pounds by summer and get the 6-pack? This is where sometimes they'll tell you like, I'm a little bit confused about the diet. I'm a little confused about how I do the workouts or whatever it is. Now we want to solve that before overcoming money, because if they don't understand, if they're not certain or they're confused about how the program works, they're never going to buy. That's why we always isolate the objection and make sure they feel good about the program first. Then we can negotiate prices and stuff. Okay. So we can say, okay, yeah, man, what are you confused about? Like, what do you not feel certain about? Oh, the nutrition, man. I'm not sure if I can follow because I did keto in the past. Now you're going to say, okay, cool, man. Well, that's exactly what we're not going to do. Right. And you explain what your program is going to do to solve that problem. Now they're fired up, they're ready to go. Be like, okay, cool. So can we get you started? All right, so there's other trainings where we go deeper into objection handling, but this is the simplest framework to overcome any objection, spouse, whatever it is. I need to speak to my husband. Got you. Okay, I totally agree. Totally understand you need to speak to your husband. And I'm just curious, other than speaking to your husband, how do you feel about the program process itself? I feel great. Oh my God, I feel amazing. Okay, cool. So I'm just curious, if we can figure out, like, I'm pretty sure that you need to speak to your husband about money. Is that accurate? Yeah. So if we can figure out the money thing together, like right now on the call, I'm pretty sure you know what you can speak to about with your husband that he's going to agree to. Can we get you started on the call today? Because I think 3,000 is probably just a little bit too much. Would you agree? Yeah. Okay, cool. So what do you got cash in hand? Like what is your husband going to approve of? X amount. Awesome. Let's do this. Okay. So hopefully this training helped. We'll go deeper into objections in other videos, but yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.